Hello everybody, you're at Tpull's Corner, and we are in a special place today. Well, an unusual place for us. We're in Historic. Usually I'm in Historic when I'm doing like Historic Ranked with my Shrine deck, and if you're interested in that, there is the Shrine Saga, which I've got a whole series of older videos there that show me doing the ranked battles. But usually we stick with Modern Standard, but I have a request to play a deck. And you guys can do this too if you're interested. Here at Tpull's Corner, you've got the Patreon link, and there's a subscription tier. When you get to a certain level, if you make a small donation, you can tell me what deck you'd like me to play, and I'll make a video for you. And it could be a full deck list, or it could just be like you have an idea of two particular cards, and you want me to put those two together. In this case, gross. When that kind of stuff happens, we break our normal rule. Our normal rule here at Tpull's Corner is that we don't use our wild cards. We're not crafting stuff. I guess we'll just do this now while you're tapped out, so we don't have to worry about them protecting it. That'll work. But if you're a Patreon, I will break that rule and I will craft the wild cards needed in order to put together that kind of a deck. We don't need all of these creatures, do we? Come on now, we don't need all of them. I'm already running out of ammo here. He's got a bunch of 1, 2, and 3 drops. And ways to gain lots of life. You want to attack with that? Really? Why did my computer just freeze just now? We're not doing anything complicated here. We're just playing Magic. So anyway, where was I? Oh yeah. So normally we don't craft wild cards. We've got an artificial constraint. We just use the cards that we have, and that's what we go with. But if you've got a Patreon deck, I'm going to burn some wild cards, and I'm going to craft and get some new cards. And in this case, we had a request from a relative. And you break rules for family. So the concept of this was he wanted me to do Helm of the Host with Devilish Valet from New Capenna and any Cranko card. Do you have a combat trick? +2/+2, so he kills Coyote. Figures. Oh, he kills everybody. He killed everybody. He killed everybody. Helm of the Host. That's why we have X-Guard Armory in there.
There are others like me? So glad to meet you. Talk to the wall.
We've got a little while to spare. We don't need to use Farewell just yet. And even though we have Helm of the Host, we don't need to put it down in case he's got a disenchant. We need other stuff. That could be handy later. Let's go seek another card. Aha! Creatures. How low do we want our life to go? Fine. Exile all the creatures. Oh. Where did... I can't do... Oh, that's red or black I got going on there. Well, that changes things. I need to actually get one more white source in here. In the meantime, they got hexproof and an ever-expanding amount of life. Do I have the other locket that does white and red? That's tapped. Okay, if he has a battle trick, we're dead. He's got 7 mana. We're nearly dead. But it's my turn. And now we exile all the creatures. Let's get rid of all the graveyards too. And let's put down a creature. That was close. Luminarch Aspirant. And Keeneard Sentry. And a wall.
Anything to support my allies.
And it's pumped up. Here, go away. No attacks. See what we got going on. Shadow Spear. And a Soul Ward. That works for me. I got my combo. I got the Valet, I got the Helm of the Host. I got 2 chances to exile other things that you can help me cast. What were those? Land and Soulseer. I could have used Soulseer. Alright, next is Dash Taunter. And Battlecry Goblins. Because this has Trample, and Trample is a problem for us. So we need blockers. In this case, we need Brash Taunter. Okay. Not a problem. Yeah. Run the Soul Warden up against the Brash Taunter. See where that gets you. He's still got hexproof. He doesn't have to worry about his life yet. Okay. Get life there. Next. Everybody gets some stuff. And we attack with Squee. Actually, we go and attack the Planeswalker. Let's get rid of the hexproof. Oh yeah, sorry. We're getting a token, we have to tell it who to attack there too. He takes it. Okay. So that hexproof is gone.
Training.
Which means we can now deal damage with Brash Taunter. Oh, he destroyed everybody. How many cards is that going to exile for me? Oh my goodness. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There was only one Goblin eligible? What did I lose? I lost 2 Devilish Valets. Oh wow, that's almost all of my combo. Okay, I got 1 Goblin out of 10 cards. And I got 23 cards left. Let's see, exile 4 of the cards to bring him back. I don't think it matters what we exile. And I guess we're just attacking. Bring down the giant. And what do we get to do? We get to double up on Squee. Place the land. We go to combat. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's not even enough, is it? I think we're dead. 1, 2, maybe not. Okay. Because he's got trample and lifelink there. If we don't do anything until the last second, maybe he'll attack now. You guys enter the battlefield tapped. So I need to create this guy now. And that's everybody. We block with everybody. He doesn't want to block with everybody. Okay. Okay, so now we bring in Devilish Valet. You're going to come in tapped. It's fine. We bring in Fable of the Mirror Breaker. And we resolve all that stuff. And then we go seek a card. Can we do that? No, we don't have enough left. How do we not have enough left? 1, 2, 3, we should have enough left. Oh, I already used it, didn't I? I already did the seeking. Okay, in that case we just go to next combat. Create another copy of Squee. One, two, three. No attacks. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to use Devilish Valet, and we want to increase the number of creatures that come into existence with Helm of the Hosts. And land was not what I needed. So discard you, give us somebody good. Bingo. When he attacks, we create a red goblin. So what do we need? We need to double from Devilish Valet. We need to go to 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64. We need 6 creatures. We need 6 creatures to come into battle, or into existence. So no attacks now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so we can do this. Because he doesn't have first strike. Okay, this should be it. This should be the combo right here. Okay, we can't copy Tiki. We can put this puppy in. We can create this one. He becomes, but he's not summoned. Then, Helm of the Host brings in another one. And then it's time to attack. And all the squeeze are going to generate all of these tokens. We're going to create a treasure token. Squeeze is going to get all the goblin tokens. And look what happens to Devilish Valet's power. You just hit resolve all. We'll let Authority of the Consuls activate each time. It doesn't have first strike. And he quits. Because we had Trample with 256 power and he didn't want to take the hit. And that's how you do Helm of the Host with Devilish Valet. And you know, we've got a Kranko in there somewhere, but we used Squee instead. Did we, on the ones that we exiled from Runvelt Hordemaster, I don't think there was a single Kranko, was there? So we went through almost our entire deck, and I'm not sure if Magic the Gathering does this on purpose when we have a Goblin deck and it decides it doesn't really want us to win. It took all 4 copies of Kranko and it's buried in the bottom third of our deck. Alright, so whew, that took a while to get through, didn't it? We had to build up a critical mass. But, you know what, I'd say 256 points of damage is critical mass. Maybe I could have done it a turn sooner. What do we got? Brine Comber. Alright. Let's go in and show you the entire deck. And we'll go in for one more battle after this, although I'm not sure that we can get a better result out of this. We usually get our butts handed to us in Historic a lot of the time. Alright. We're calling this deck the Goblin's Valet, because normally it's a Devilish Valet, but in this case, he's the valet to Kranko, the mob boss. Tap to create X red, or 1/1 red goblin creature tokens, where X is the number of goblins you control. So if Kranko's by himself and you tap him, you get 1 goblin. The next turn, if you tap Kranko, you get 2 goblins to add to the 2 you already have, so you get 4. So it's doubling. 4, 8, 16, 32. As long as Kranko gets to tap, you get to add the goblins. It starts off even better if you've already got other goblins on the field. So it makes it kind of nice if you get Devilish Valet out and then tap a Kranko with the number of goblins out to really just get lethal right there. If that's not enough, Helm of the Host, slap that on somebody for 5. At the beginning of combat on your turn, you create a token. It's a copy of a equipped creature, except the token isn't legendary, and that is oh so important. Because we could create a copy of Kranko, and we could immediately have, let's say Devilish Valet was out, and we had 1 Kranko out, and we spent 5 mana to equip Helm of the Host onto Kranko. We could then have the 2 Kranko Goblin Warriors. We could tap 1, and we'd end up with 4 goblins total, including the 2 Krankos. And then you tap the second Kranko, because that token gains haste. So we tap the token Kranko, and we go from 4 to 8 right away. So you can go from 2 to 8 goblin, or actually from 1 goblin to 8 in 1 turn. just with having Helm of the Host equipped. So that's the combo basically. Okay, so what I did was I kind of broke my rule. Just because, it's a family member that asked. So I broke into my wild cards and I crafted 4 copies of Crank of the Mob Boss because I didn't have that. I got 1 copy of Helm of the Host because of Brothers War, and they have that special artifact that they introduce you to. And I already had 4 copies of Devilish Valet from New Capenna. So the question is, since I only have 1 copy of Helm of the Host, how do I make this combo work? And so we added in a splash of white. And here's what we got. We got Fireblade Charger as a 1-drop. We got Spikefield Hazard as our 24th land. We got Fateful Absence to take apart Planeswalkers. And we have 2 of Oswald Fiddlebender. He's a legendary gnome artificer with magical tinkering. So you spend 1 mana, you sacrifice an artifact, you search your library for an artifact card with mana value equal to 1 plus the sacrificed artifact's mana value. Put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle, activating only as a sorcery. So what that means is we're going to use him to get Helm of the Host. So we have Rakdos Locket, which I really need to look for the other locket and make sure I've got red-white in here. But, this was the first one I popped up. And I'm not going to stop the video now. I don't have an editing team. This is all we got. Okay, I got Mirbox and I got Celestis. So Celestis helps us with the mana when we need it. So does Rakdos Locket. If I get Helm of the Host earlier, I can keep Rakdos Locket as a mana dork, or I can sacrifice it and draw 2 cards, so it's still useful. In the meantime, Mirbox, the legend rule doesn't apply, so if I get multiple Krankos out, that can run away and win the battle too. If I need to get rid of Mirbox to go get Helm of the Host, I will, but it's a nice card to have regardless. But here's the deal. 2-drop, get out the Fiddlebender. 3-drop, get out one of these things. When I'm ready with, say, the Valet and Kranko, or, the Devilish Valet and Squee, whatever you just saw me win with, then we sacrifice the 3-drop artifact and we go get the 4-drop Helm of the Host. Okay, so we have 2 chances to get the artifact, or we're just drawing the artifact. Then we have the 23rd land, Sigiri's Shelter. We can use it as an instant and have the creature gain protection from the color of our choice. So that's sort of like if we have our combo out and we don't quite have enough mana to get everything firing off yet, we need a turn to survive, we could use that to save a creature. We've got 4 Battlecry Goblins. This is because you can spend 2 mana and all goblins you control get +1 in haste. So haste can be important. In the meantime, when it attacks, it's got Pack Tactics. So if you attack with creatures total 6 power or greater this combat, you create a 1/1 red goblin creature token that's tapped and attacking. So that will work with Devilish Valet and double his power. We have Goro Goro. Again, you can spend a red mana. Creatures you control gain haste. If you got 5 mana to spare, you can create a Dragon Spirit if you control a modified creature. So that's kind of cool, because if you do have the 5 mana to spend and you create that 5/5, guess what happens to Devilish Valet? You double his power. We have Runvelt Hordemaster. This is a new Goblin Warrior from Dominaria United. I haven't seen anybody use it yet, but other goblins you control get +1/+1. That's going to be useful. Also, whenever the Hordemaster or another goblin you control dies, you exile the top card of your library. If it's a goblin creature card, you can cast that card until the end of your next turn. Which we saw, we whiffed big time, right? We only got 1 goblin out of 10 cards in the first match. But it's an interesting strategy. I think it's a way to sort of get at the goblins that we need. We have 1 copy of Conspicuous Snoop. Play with the top card of your library revealed. You can cast goblin spells from the top of your library, and as long as the top card of your library is a goblin card, Conspicuous Snoop, say it 3 times fast, has all activated abilities of that card. So if Devilish Valet is shown on the top of the card, Snoop has the Devilish Valet's abilities. We could use that to win with Kranko. Or if Kranko's on top, Snoop suddenly can activate just like a Kranko, and if we have Devilish Valet already on the field, we could win that way. So there's different ways to trick it out, whereas I've got the combo, and if I don't have quite what I need ready on the battlefield, there are some other ways sneaky surprises, alternative ways that we can still fire things off. Things to help us survive in the meantime. We've got a Brittle Blast that can take out creatures and planeswalkers. This is the 1 alchemy card that I have. And this is because it has a perpetually, right? Creatures and planeswalkers your opponents control perpetually gain if they die, you exile them. So don't have to worry about Unearth from Brothers War. Don't have to worry about them digging into the graveyard to get that particular creature or planeswalker back. We've also got 4 copies of Soulseer, deals 5 damage to creature or planeswalker, and that permanent loses Indestructible until end of turn. So Indestructible is not going to be a problem for us. We've also got Fable of the Mirror Breaker, and on the 3rd chapter you get Reflection of Kiki-Jiki, and you can create a token of a copy of another target non-legendary creature. So this is another way for us to just create a token for only 1 mana, and that can double Valet's power. Maybe we're creating a token of the Devilish Valet and attacking with that. We've got Squee, of course. He's got haste, which is important. And when he attacks, you create a Goblin creature token. So there's a way, if we already have Devilish Valet out, right, we cast Squee, that doubles him once, and then he gets the Red Goblin creature that doubles him twice. So we've gone from 1 to 4 power already for the Devilish Valet there. Valakut Awakening is my 22nd card. Special card. It can be just a regular land, or if we're digging for our, say like Helm of the Host or our Krenko or whatever, we can throw away 2 or 3 cards from our hand and draw that many cards +1. We've got the 3 Mana Dorks. We've got 2 of Coyote. This is another creature protection. It's got flash. If we want to protect the Valet or Krenko from getting destroyed, we can flash it in and give them Indestructible. The cool thing is this also works if they have a spell that destroys artifacts. We can protect the Helm of the Host if it's out. And that way they sort of need to kill Coyote before they kill anything else. Then we got the 4 Krenkos. We got the Helm itself. We've got Farewell. This is our 1 Savior card, our Hail Mary, to exile anything that's given us problems. And we've got Brash Taunter, who himself is indestructible. If we run into a blue opponent who takes over our creatures, we can get rid of him with Soulseer if we need to. But when he's dealt damage, he deals that much damage to a target opponent, and we can use him to fight another target creature, and he's indestructible himself. So things that are this deck is weak against, right? We can have trouble with flyers. If they're doing nothing but planeswalkers, that can get us. And trample. Brash Taunter is bad against trample. So, and there are other things, of course, because it's historic. There's all kinds of jank that'll get rid of us, right? But that's it in a nutshell. That's the concept. And so you see how I've taken, any Krenko plus the Valet and Helm of the Host, and I've got ways to get the Helm of the Host. I've got other ways to activate the Valet. I've got other ways to take advantage of Krenko being legendary. There's all sorts of neat ways that we tried to make the cards interact with each other. So we're going to go in. Even though that first round, even though we didn't get Krenko, we still that first round was a marvelous demonstration of how Devilish Valet works anyway, with token generating Helm of the Host. In the meantime, if you're new here, hit subscribe, and strongly consider hitting the like button, because I don't get many of those. Alright, we're still a relatively young channel. Oh, I can't put that down yet. That's the one where I need to pay mana or I sacrifice it. I'm glad they have those warnings. Okay, we definitely need red more than anything right away, right? I mean, we could get a 2-drop down with Fiddlebender, but... Well, we're playing poker, are we? Thanks, Magic. I don't really need these guys at the very first, but I guess it can't hurt. The problem is against black. Black has a lot of removal, and green has fight spells, so these guys are going to be vulnerable if I just throw them out there by themselves. If we don't make a land drop, do I just quit? Do I just quit? Our opponent's not going to have a problem with the land drop. I know this because my opponent never has a problem with the land drop. He's my opponent. So I have to sit here. Let everybody explore. No blocking, I just let him womp on me. I guess we need a white monosaurus at this point. I'm not doing nothing. I'm just going to keep Coyote out here. See, whenever a creature explores, so I'm counting on him exploring one more time. There we go. And he's got another wild growth walker. And he's going to attack. What else are you going to do? Don't explore twice. I can only take out toughness 5 right now. I think that's the upper limit of my deck except for one card. Hydroid Crassus. Okay. You're making a 1/1 flyer. You can kill Coyote if he switches them around and deals Coyote the damage first. There we go. We got rid of one creature. Woohoo! Now what do we do? Well, actually, Mirbox might help us a tiny bit. This has trample, so if he gets some way to beef him up, we're going to be in trouble. Comes yet another walker. We're not blocking anybody. Oh, he's thinking about it. You do not have a way to buff them up? He is going to hit everybody. Okay. Not having the land is going to hurt me bad. Shoot. I'm half dead. He's gonna outpace me real quick here. I sort of have to use the shelter now, don't I? Alright. Protect from green. And I'm gonna have to block you. We'll see if you kill him or not. So you lose 2 creatures. You can deal 5 damage. If I didn't get land. So how do I do this? Just one more land. Would have been nice. Notice my opponent never has trouble with land. And he just shocked himself so he'd have access to all 8 mana. So what's coming next? A Hullbreaker Horror? Come on. You gotta give the blue guys time to think. They have so many options. So many ways to mess with you. Seriously, it's 8 lands to 4 by turn 8, and you only gave me 2 lands the entire match. What was I supposed to do? Ridiculous. Okay, he's got trample with the Crassus. So I can't do anything because I need to flash in Coyote. And he's got 6 cards in his hand now. Yeah, he got just what he needed. 9 lands to 4. We're getting punished.
I battle for the forces
There's
of
one
good.
chance that I could survive one turn.
You may regret that choice.
2 planeswalkers. How about that? Like he needed more help. He top decked 2 planeswalkers. And yet another walker. That's 3 of the walkers. Coming at us with everything. So I guess we make this guy indestructible. We're gonna lose that. What can we do? We can. Do we even care about the Battlecry Goblin? We're alive for one more turn. What are we down to 3 for health? They still got 1 mana that's untapped. They could do something, I guess. Make sure to kill the goblin. And that's going to come in tapped. There ain't nothing else for us to do there. I don't think that counts. We really got seriously land starved there. That was bad. We didn't skip on any land. Okay, that one doesn't count. I'm gonna do one more. That's what happens if you're a free-to-play account. You win one in Historic, and the next one, oh, you don't get any lands. Let's put you up against a ramp deck that makes sure that they get out extra lands, as a matter of fact. Hey, look, we got the combo. Only thing we don't have yet is Helm of the Host. Flight can be a problem for us. So can missing land drops. Hey, look at that, folks. We didn't get our land. He's going to get extra land. Are we noticing a pattern here? No blocks. We still didn't get land. What is wrong with you, Magic? 2 in a row. It's not like I skimped on the land. Okay, hang on.
It's time to step out
We'll
of
just
the
take
shadows.
the loss. Let's try and go where we at least get 3 lands, shall we? This is the other frustrating part about Magic. The first frustrating thing is when you make a deck and it doesn't work for you. It works for everybody else. You see awesome cards. The cards work great. See, look. We lost 2 in a row because it land started us, so it gives us extra land up front. X-Guard Armory can help us find the Helm of the Host. This is going to be a mill deck. We need a red source. It's another rogue, so they want to mill us. We might have land problems again because they just got rid of our next 2 land drops. I guess we just kill that. There goes 2 of our valets. Removal. Okay. Notice they don't miss any land drops at all, ever. And they got a 3rd Enforcer. Granted, that one was an operative. No blocks. Krenko? I guess. And the Mimic. And there went my removal spells. No attacks. Another undercover operative. He's just top decking what he needs, isn't he? What do we got left? 20 cards? Okay, what do we need to do here? I need everything. I need everything. We're going to bring him out from exile. We're going to attack with him. And another Thieves Guild Enforcer. That's his 3rd actual one. Does not attack. We'll bring down Krenko. We need some land. We'll bring down the Valet. No attacks. At last, land. All right. So, activate. Woo! Who needs Helm of the Host? 32. Can we do anything else? We have Reflections of Kiki Jiki. Can I copy? Oh, it has to be a non-legendary. Darn it. Oh, he wasn't even waiting for it. He saw it's lethal. Never mind. Alright. I took too long. Yeah, I forgot. With Kiki Jiki, it's got to be a target non-legendary creature. So it doesn't work on Squee. It doesn't work on Krenko. It doesn't matter if we have Mirror Box out or not. So I was looking. I could have duplicated Valet earlier, right? If I'd have made a copy of him, then I could have doubled the Devilish Valets and had 64 damage. So learn from my misplays, folks. Alright, so let's leave it there because I don't want the video to get too much longer. But we'll go back in and we'll look at the deck one more time. And I think we did pretty good overall, just in terms of demonstrating the concept, right? Because the first match we were able to use the Valet with Helm of the Host, and the next time we were able to use the Valet with Crankle. Now, I guess the gold ring would be if we got Crankle and the Valet and Helm of the Host out all at the same time. So if I ever manage to do that, maybe I'll put up a sequel recording. But you guys let me know how I did in terms of, hey, we didn't have 4 Helm of the Host. We only had 1 copy of it. But we did pretty good. We have, let's go in here real quick. We've got, this is misleading, right? It's not just 21 lands because we had specialty lands. So we've got Spikefield Hazard as a land. We've got Caesari's Shelter can be used as a land. And we've got Valakut Awakening. So we actually had 24 lands. Plus we've got 2 other mana dorks that can also be used to generate mana. So, I don't know what's to be done about Magic's algorithm where, you win too many times, you don't spend money on the game, they decide they're only going to give you 2 or 3 lands for the entire match. That's just going to happen. It's frustrating. I think they should just, give us a toggle, give us a red alert sign that says, it's like the casinos, right? The casinos in Vegas have this 98% payout. They are required to pay back a certain amount of what they take from you. It's opposite with the online Magic, the online arena, right? If you win too much, it's mandatory they make you lose at some point. They should just have the automatic loss button come up and say, oh, I'm sorry, you've won too much, we're hitting you. We're giving you an automatic loss. Rather than waste our time artificially saying, oh, you know what, you're only going to get 2 lands out of the next 7 card draw. It's ridiculous. But that's what we have to live with. Anyway, we didn't get to see Conspicuous Snoop yet. The Horde Master worked really well, I thought. So I would keep those in. Fiddlebender definitely works in my playtesting. And I always love Brash Taunter. So that is my initial take on how to set up something like this in Historic. And have these support cards around to give it good structure. And maybe I could still use Fable of the Mirrorbreaker and a good way to copy one of these others. Like I said, we could have probably just copied the Valet up front and then activated Cranko and had twice as much damage. So, I'm always learning myself. We'll leave it there. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. We'll have a new deck for you next time. Have a good one.